Hey guys, what's going on? Jordan from Militia Fitness, standing here in CrossFit for Walton Beach. What we're going to go over is we get asked a lot of questions about, why is mobility important? And so we want to try to hit two common things we see all the time, which people get a lot of pain right here and then a lot of pain up here and in this trap region, sometimes in the neck. And CrossFit does two things that you don't see a ton of in normal weightlifting arenas. One is a lot of cleans and a lot of snatches, deadlifts, and even holding squats, and the other is a ton of pull-ups. And so people get pain right here and they think, man, I got this shoulder issue, something's going on. But we have to remember that you don't hardly ever get pain mid-muscle. And so what actually connects right here is your bicep tendon connects up underneath there. So the real problem is that your bicep is causing you, it's got this overstuffed in the fascia, and I'll show you what this looks like, and it's causing a lot of inflammation at the tendon site. Then when you activate your shoulder on top of it, you're squeezing down on the inflammation and causing a lot of pain. Same thing in this region. If this hurts, this is one of your connections for your trap. And so you're doing all these pulling exercises you're not used to, and now you got this inflammation at this connection point where your tendon innervates into the bone right there. Okay, and so here's the deal. What most people don't realize is it's all about potential energy and distribution of force. If you jump 20 feet, wipe out. If you jump 20 feet onto concrete, or if you jump 20 feet into water, the potential energy from here to here is the same. The actual force falling down is the exact same. The only difference is right here, you come to an immediate abrupt stop and all the force is brought to an end. Here, as you land in the water, you distribute that force over a longer period of time and it lets it break it down. So inside of the muscle, what you really got going on is you got this fascia that surrounds the muscle and it goes to the tendons, right? The muscle underneath goes to the tendons. Now inside of this space right here, is we'll call it X. Just for the sake of argument, this isn't a real figure. We're gonna call this distance a 4. As long as when your muscle is swollen, fully used, it's got a lot of blood flowing there, it's a 4, then you're never gonna have any issues because your body can absorb all that. But if this is like a 4.5, your muscle is, then it's being compressed by the fascia. And since your muscle's made up of 70% water, right, pretty well agreed upon amount, what's happening is you're squeezing all this in, and as you go to lower things and absorb potential energy, instead of it being like falling into water, it's like falling into concrete. And when that happens, you start to impact at the tendon sites because this can't absorb any force. And let me show you what this looks like with a kettlebell, okay? If you got this 45-pound kettlebell, you shoot me down here? You got this 45-pound kettlebell and I hold this and I slowly lower this to the ground, I absorb that force over a couple seconds. It gets absorbed in the muscle and you don't see any violent impact. But if I take the same kettlebell and drop it, you can hear how much potential energy is actually stored up. So as we're lowering weights and we're doing stuff we're not used to, where we're banging and we're lowering down from pull-up bars, all that potential energy, just like dropping that, is being absorbed like concrete because our muscle has swollen into the fascia. So in order to make our muscle more like water again that can absorb these forces, we have to expand the fascia. And that's where Kelly started. It's got a ton of awesome videos. But one thing we really like to do is we like to just smash it like a tube of toothpaste. So we'll start down on the end of a muscle and we'll really just smash up and expand out the fascia really slow and expand it out. And if you come in, obviously ask a coach, we'll go over some of the best techniques for that. But what we really want to give you here is necessity and let you understand that it is very necessary to help to continue to expand that fascia as your muscle grows into that space. Because if you can't absorb your force like water right here, it's going to go to the tendon sites and then you're going to put little baby micro tears in it. Yeah, sorry, technology, our phone cut out, so we had to chop it up, and here we go. Where we kind of were leaving off is we were talking about potential energy being absorbed by the muscle. And again, what I want to make a very clear point is when I start with this kettlebell up here, there's a stored amount of potential energy, and when I lower it, as it comes down, something has to absorb that force. Okay, so when I pick this up here, if I just let go, nothing absorbs that. But whenever I'm holding this up here and I slowly lower it to the ground, that same force just got applied into my muscle. And as long as my muscle has some room to expand, no big deal, because there's water in there and it's like falling into water, force being absorbed. If there's no room to expand, then my tendons are going to eat a large portion of that. And then what happens is we get these little micro tears right here, and your body sends inflammation in to cure that. If I make a cut on my arm, it'll hurt that day, but in 2 or 3 days, my body will inflame it up regardless if it's infected or not, and it'll be sore everywhere around it. That'll protect me and tell me don't touch it, and it brings in enough extra blood flow in order to help heal that much faster. And that's what your body does here with these tendons. It tries to bring locally in enough inflammation to heal the tendon and say don't use that. But the real root of the problem is not the pain site, it's the muscle that's too small inside of the fascia. So we want to smash this like a tube of toothpaste, starting on one end to get it to expand out. And once we expand the fascia, the muscle can fill into that space and stop causing local trauma right here. So no big deal. There's your necessity on why it's important to do that. That's the biggest thing, is we need to know why this is important. So always when coaches are coaching us through mobility here at Militia Fitness and we're taking care of you and showing you, now you understand why this is really important. The worst thing you can do is hit a really good workout and then go sit in your car where you shrink all this up and let it just tighten down on itself instead of mobilizing it out. So really important to hit that mobility. Make sure you're staying on top of it. And in any case, if you got any more questions on this stuff, absolutely come in. We'll continue to push that knowledge and keep kicking butt. See you guys soon.